favor?
Aye.
Okay. Okay, first Charlie has on the agenda is a request for determination of applicability from SFG Associates on 0 Smith Street, map 14, lot 62-2A, for a single-family home and septic system.
Good evening, I'm Brad Fitzgerald from SFG Associates, project engineers. Yeah, this is it's a retreat lot out there on Smith Street, a little bit east of the existing house on that big parcel where, I'm sorry, it's this way, Wellington's up here. So the client wants to put his house back here, it's about 140-ish feet off of Smith Street. It'll be about 115 off of the wetlands. It'll be serviced by a septic tank and a leaching area. As closest point to leaching would be about 101 feet from the wetlands. Finished grading, we'll get to about 70 feet, which is the siltation barrier proposed at the closest would be 70 feet from the edge of the wetlands. Wetlands were flagged by Conservation Incorporated. They do the whole site. It will have town water, which I'm showing it coming up just along this, just outside of that 70-foot line to avoid getting too close to the septic system. The other utilities, I think, will come down to where the electric company wants to put it in the cable. But none will be any closer than this 70 feet where the siltation barrier will be. That will act as a limit of clearing and work.
Okay, driveway going in.
That will be coming up on the left side here. As part of the agreement for the retreat lot, this driveway has to match up somewhere in this area here with the driveway on this lot here. So the driveway would have to be on this side. And what they're doing is they want an ability for the connection between these two for emergency vehicles. If one comes in here, it can just go to the grass strip and go down this driveway and back out. That was part of the agreement.
Do you have to have the extra wide drive by fire law?
It's a 20-foot wide area with a 12-foot wide driveway and 4-foot grass shoulders that can handle the fire trucks and ambulances. So basically it's a 20-foot wide driveway with 4-foot grass strips on either side.
So you'll need the turnaround because you'll have that grass area.
Exactly, that was the planning board condition that those two driveways had to have. It could be a grass strip, but it's got to be capable of handling the H20 load that the trucks would have.
Is the property to, I'm using your hands north.
Yes, it is.
On the south side, is that in existence?
It's the existing dwelling here. It's still in construction.
Okay.
The septic's gone in on it up here, and the driveway is on the side.
No, I know. I was just looking to see if it was going to be a phantom driveway on the other side.
No, what happened was he was the first one in, so he got to pick where the driveway goes. So this guy's house is actually forward of where the crossing is. The crossing's more or less in here.
Yeah.
He's going to have to extend it, and it's noted on the plan. He has to extend the driveway at least to there, so that there could be a physical access.
Have you talked to the fire chief yet on the driveway? They prefer hammerheads.
Well, this was conditioned by the planning board going through the fire department. I guess they didn't want to do separate hammerheads, so they just connected them. So it's kind of like one big U-turn.
I got a question. What do you mean by hammerheads?
So they just have that little indent so that they can park a pumper.
Oh, okay. So it's the design of the driveway. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. I don't know if it's something in the ground that they put some kind of device.
Just a place where they can put a pumper, from pushing that far off the road.
There's a hydrant right across the street.
On my house, behind me across the street, that was a big issue on my house.
Jack, is there a motion for a negative determination?
I'll make a motion to negative the determination for this project.
Second? Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Thank you very much.
Okay, Charlie, you ready? Charlie? Ready? Okay, we have a notice of intent from Anton Rodericks on 2835 County Street. And this is for a single-family dwelling with septic driveway and landscaping at 0 Brook Street. Charlie, you ready?
Yep.
Okay,
Barry Pearl, engineering, Tony Roberts, owner applicant of the property. Continuation from the last meeting we went to, I don't know, details in the past, you want to get into. Generally, what we're doing is proposing a 3-bedroom dwelling on a vacant piece of property. It's like a hockey stick shaped lot. We went to zoning, got a variance for the location of the house here. We conducted the 2 sets of perk tests with the 4 soil evaluations to the east side of the property. And we're going to place the septic system over here, outside the 100-foot mark to the wetlands. There's a little isolated patch of wetlands here, so we're keeping the septic system 100 feet away from that. On the back end of the property is the river, which leads out to Taunton River and then Monroe Bay. This blue line you see here is a 200-foot setback from the river. The yellow line in of that is the 100-foot wetland setback line from the resource area. So that's everything that's on the plan. This pink line that we're representing around the isolated wetland area is the 25-foot touch zone. And then the first yellow line is the 50-foot no structure zone. So that the house is outside of that and the septic system is outside of 100. There was a concern in the neighborhood, which I live across the street from here, about flooding in the neighborhood. This piece of property generally floods downward. It comes up from the river, but the flow of water from Brook Street comes down Brook Street, goes around down Elm Street to the bridge. The piece of property, the existing contours are shown dashed, and you can see from that the elevations at the bottom of our property is elevation 11, then it climbs up towards the street 12, 13, 14, and beyond that, the street pitches down in this direction towards the intersection. We're proposing to do the grading, and this is a minimum amount of grading required to satisfy Title V Board of Health regulations. So to do that, we have to elevate the existing land. So we're proposing to put the septic system in here, put the house in over here, drive in to the front of the house, and have the septic system off to the side. The water is going to come off the top of the leaching field and around the house. We'll still head down in this direction off to the side, and then travel down towards this vacant piece of property in the back. Over here will also come off the fill area and will travel on Tony's property down towards that same piece of property where it's currently flowing to. Over here is a telephone pole, which you will see right at the pink portion. There's some filling done there. I'm not sure when that was done, but there's about a 50, 60-foot high area right around the telephone pole. So everything that falls on this property from that area, this side drains this this way. On the other side of this high area, which you can see by my contours, drains down this way, towards the river. The last meeting, there was a concern about compensatory storage, and I think that's why the meeting was continued. So, I know you guys all know the Wetland Protection Act very well, but I just brought up my hand out, so I'm just gonna show you a couple of points, because my position is that because of the resource area we're in, we do not need compensatory storage. So, you need just sections, just a couple of pages here, just highlighted a couple of sections that we have. So you can kind of follow along. So the first page is just the first page is the notice of intent, which is what we find. So if you flip to the second page, you'll see under buffer zone and resource areas. The resource areas and buffer zones is identified as three separate sections. One for work only in the buffer zone. Two is to be checked on is work in the inland resource area, and they show the definitions of that. And then on the next page, which on the section 3 would be coastal resource area. So the question was, is this inland or is it coastal? So by definition, I've got the definitions in the back, but the area is defined as a coastal resource area. If you look at the inland resource area, the inland resource area is an area of land. It can be defined as two things. It can be bordering land subject to flooding, which I'm showing on the third page, or it can be an isolated land subject to flooding on the inland resource area. Those areas they require compensatory storage because the area that floods is defined. So if you fill, if you say look at it as a pond or just a wetland area that's confined, and you fill in that flood area, then that volume that you bring in, when the same flood event takes place, it's going to flood somewhere else in that confined inland area. The difference that you can see on the form that we fill out, when we look at an inland resource area on the border and there's the flooding, it asks people to show the size of the proposed alteration in cubic feet, so cubic feet of flood storage lost, which would be the amount of filling brought into the property below the flood elevation, and then you have to show proposed replacement area if only the cubic feet in place. And those numbers should match, or we should have more excavation to reduce the flooding impact. We don't want to go too crazy with that in the master because the weather is important too, so we don't want to drive them up. The same thing comes into play when you look at isolated areas subject to flood. They show cubic feet of flood storage lost and cubic feet of flood. So this is all for an inland resource area. If you go down to section 3, which is coastal resource areas on that page, and then you flip over to the same thing you check off before it, it shows again the size of the total alteration, the total replacement of land. If you go down to item L, it says land subject to coastal storm flowing, which is what this is. It's in the flood zone. It's a tidal source. It meets all the criteria for the coastal area, and it just shows square feet. They don't ask about how much filling you do in the coastal resource area, and they don't ask you to propose any replacement of what is filled in the coastal resource area. So what I did is I wrote down this, the next page is right out of the Protection Act, and it shows additional regulations for coastal wetlands. I didn't put that on the 400 pages of the act, but in it breaks it down to coastal wetlands, and then below resource area, highlighted there, it's section 10.43, page number is, but it's the second to last page from the handout. And it shows the resource area. It says, means any coastal bank, coastal wetland, coastal beach, coastal dune, tidal flat area, any land under the ocean or under the estuaries or under salt ponds, land subject to tidal action or coastal 100-year storm flowage. This portion of this property is in that. Anything below the elevation of 14 on this piece of property is an area of coastal 100-year storm flowage. And it says all land under certain streams, ponds, rivers, lakes, creeks, within the coastal zone that contain fish runs. So that's the piece of property that we're in, and that piece of property does not require compensatory storage. I looked at the plan. I looked at how much filling we're doing, because what you're supposed to do is if the flood zone is 14, and then the land below, anything below that you fill below elevation 14 would be filling in the flood area. Anything above that, 15, 16, 17, all of this wouldn't be filling in the flood area because the flood would never get up to that elevation. Once it gets to elevation 14, it doesn't matter when you fill after that because that's where the flood is. If we did do compensatory storage, I could excavate an area over here that would have to wipe all the trees out, and the piece of property that's to the west of our piece of property right now, the lawn, we staked it out, and I think we had a surveyor stake out the property, same property line. The lawn comes up into this area. Totally, I don't believe is concerned about anything that's happening over here, but if we did compensatory storage, this would be the area that we would do the excavating. So we would end up wiping all the trees out, which forms a natural buffer between the house and the other house. And it's also water, so it would end up being, it looked like a pond out there. You take the fill actually, probably use all this fill to fill around the house, but because it's not needed under the Wetland Protection Act, I wouldn't like to do that, to wipe everything out to provide that. If you go to the last page of the handout, this comes from the inland resource definitions, and again, checked it off as either bordering land subject to flooding, isolated land subject to flooding. Under the bordering land subject to flooding chapter, it shows compensatory storage. Nowhere in the coastal area does it refer to compensatory storage. But in the inland resource area, it says compensatory storage should be provided for flood storage violence that would be lost as a result of the proposed project within the bordering land subject to flooding. So that's the important difference between the inland resource area versus the coastal resource area. That's why I took the position that I took. And the last time you go out there for a sidewalk with Charlie, earlier in the year.
I included a site visit on the 5th of December and explained that I agree. I didn't believe it was inland, in the coastal, but because of the title issue. It's a coastal right up until Brook Street, just beyond Brook Street, where the dam is.
Yeah, that's what it is, because the tide effect right under the bridge near the house there. So once you get to that, and the heritage used to go, those who show up.
Hopefully they're gonna come back again.
Yeah, I'm hoping they do too.
I believe there's a plan, I don't know how far down, but to do fish
I have
festival.
another question. Have you people looked to ZBA for this lot?
Yes, yes.
they issue any, conditions?
Zoning, or,
No,
yeah, zoning, well, we asked to decide if they didn't have any conditions, or not anything other than the setback requirements.
The Board of Health, you haven't been
The board up and submitted plans, Bill did respond. I haven't addressed his responses yet. They were more about properties and things like that. I will address them, but I was waiting pending the outcome of the conservation.
They're waiting for conservation.
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait to get through this meeting, that way I can handle all the boards. In case I had to make any changes to conservation, stuff I submit to the Board of Health.
The house itself, the proposed house would be above foot.
Yes. Yeah, the lowest portion of the house is at 15.5, which would be the garage, so it's gonna come up. I actually put a little bit of dip in the garage because of the concern, we didn't wanna shed any water from this property into the street. So I didn't, a lot of times people build houses and everything, so it was green, the front back into the street. So in this case, I'm leaving everything in the layout of the street. The street, the pavement of the street actually comes in to his property. So this is one of the oldest streets, if not the oldest street. On Elm Street. So the pavement actually comes in, like the corner of his lot is in the road, up in the front. But I kept all of this, we're keeping all this natural in the front, so if anything sheds off the street now, it'll go around this.
So it'll be like a
and then-
swale.
Yeah, and it'll continue around. I did the same thing with the
How many square
driveway.
feet of the lot is going to be put around the house?
How much of it?
Yeah.
I've got, elevations 12, 13, I've got fill going up to like 17, I think, around 18, so about 4 feet. But it does drop off from the road, like Tony brought dirt in there, he wasn't supposed to, but he brought dirt in there. And you can see that it drops off, because everything pitches from the road down this property. Like we get a nail set in the street at 15, elevation's 15, the back of the property's 11. So it drops about 4 feet, a little more than 4 feet right now from the road to the back of his property, which is only 8 feet.
I don't have any questions.
Do you have,
Okay, anyone in attendance wishes to speak?
One thing is that wet zone area that's designated, that cannot be touched whatsoever, right, as far as any excavation in that area?
No, you're talking about the wetland area?
The wetland area.
No, they're keeping their distance from there. They're keeping the legal distance.
Can that be graded in any way?
We're
Or
not,
filled?
No, can't be filled,
no.
and they have to, there is no touch within 25 feet, no building within 50 feet.
Of that area that the wetland is.
Yes, correct.
Located on the map.
So that
No
is,
disturbance, I'm sorry, sir, no disturbance of that area can be done whatsoever.
correct.
he was explaining that if it required compensatory storage, it would be done right adjacent to your house. All of those locust trees
That go right down.
would be gone.
Yeah.
That's what they had to use for, but the wetland act doesn't require. The saltwater, area of the wetland act is devoid of compensatory storage. Inland, different story.
And we're not proposing anything even towards you on any of the rest of the property. So not only are we protecting that isolated area, there's no work. Even before we get to the 25-foot no touch, that's where the work stops. And then there's from that point all the way through the isolated wetland area, past the other 25 no touch towards your property, and then all the way down to the river. We're not proposing any work at all. It's all gonna stay like it is.
So it's basically gonna be, where my property is, where that area is in wetland,
That's,
Going
we're gonna
towards
remove that.
Elm
Put to
Street.
remove it, and if the
That's
board
where the
wants-
work's gonna be done, towards the
That's
Elm
an old
Street side.
stone foundation is there.
Correct.
Yes.
I didn't hear it, I was told.
Okay. So where that wetland is,
Yes,
my property, that wetland, so where that wetland is deemed where it ends,
yes,
from that point towards Elm Street is where any excavation work will be done.
correct,
And
yeah,
nothing will be touched on that other side,
No.
because you don't need it.
no, no, nothing with it.
Okay,
I can't see any.
is that a stone
excavation
wall
there.
on the south
Fill it
side
out.
of the septic system?
It's
That-
already
yeah.
over
below
here,
street
yeah.
level,
Yeah,
so
okay.
I can't
So
see
now
where
who
they're gonna be
owns that stone
excavating
wall?
anything, except
Well,
maybe
that's
the
to be
foundation.
constructed, if
Oh.
necessary. If he,
Okay.
it looks like he can grade down to it, but if he needs to, it'll be a small wall, just so that he doesn't grade onto the other property.
You like your walls,
Yep.
but they're nice walls.
No, thank you.
Now,
I
there
got a thing
is-
about stone walls, that's all I can tell you.
No, well, there's plenty of stone around.
There is, Dayton's
I
full
don't
of
know
it.
your name.
Frank.
Okay, Frank mentioned there's an existing stone foundation on the property, and I'm showing it here as a rectangle. I just showed it as to be removed. If the board, it does go, right now, a corner of it is in that 25-foot no-touch area. Does the board have an issue removing that
It's about a foot.
foundation? It's kind of,
There's a barn that was there, and it's probably historic. So that is a historic commission call.
okay. All right, well, I showed on there, so we can deal with the Historical Society and see what they want to do on that. It's not going to affect what we're proposing, because we don't even have any grading to that foundation. I just felt that it was there, so it doesn't matter to us.
I think from a historical perspective, you know.
It was,
if
it's
deemed
historical for, in what nature?
It was probably constructed in the 1800s and has been there. It was recognized.
For what purpose?
As a barn, and it's called as a barn on that 1960 Otis Dyer plan that I provided you with.
Okay.
The other issue is, that area in there is a nesting ground for turkeys. We see them frequently coming up and trying to nest up along the road. So one of the criteria, I believe, is that they're going to have to put some sort of a turkey crossing across their land.
NHP doesn't show it as turtle habitat.
Turkey, you said, turkey.
Oh,
No. Terrapins.
Oh, turtle, terrapin.
I've seen them there for, 30 years. That's the first place my kids saw how turtles nest.
All I can tell you is the NHESP doesn't designate that parcel or anything close to it as a turtle habitat.
That's unusual
No,
because it's loaded.
what's he saying?
Even though they're there,
I
they
guess he's
probably
talking
don't
about
care
the
because that's
site.
not
Yeah.
considered heritage.
I guess
area.
he's talking about the site.
I've been through that on my own property, so
Yeah.
Maybe they come up.
if it's not designated on
Yeah,
their
We were
map,
supposed to
they
have
have no
some, Mr.
concern.
Aggie here, talking terrapin tonight.
Oh, yeah. We deal with them on the island, like where Crystal Springs is in Freetown, Assonet,
So,
the island out there.
Has that been designated a historic site? I don't think so.
That's my question. I don't know because it's, as you can see from Odie's plan, there is an ancient barn there.
I would say any designation that occurs is after this plan has already been submitted, so it's, you know, not necessarily something that should hold up any approvals here.
If it's not on any of the GSPs,
Yeah.
we have a hard time. He would have to prove that turtles are.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm talking the
No,
barn.
we're talking about barns now, we're back to the barn.
Feel about the barn, you wanna leave it?
Wants to-
Oh, you need the rock for the walls.
That's right. That's what I need.
That's why you bought the.
If it's not designated as a historical site,
I don't see anything on this town plans that designate it.
now, are you representing the Historical Society?
No, I'm not. I'm just.
Are they aware that there's a potential for this house here?
I have not advised them, I'm just here as a neighbor.
Okay, all right. You know, I don't think we can deal with the turtles because of the, it's not
It
recorded.
doesn't seem like the kind of habitat that the protected turtles.
You know, I went through a bunch on turtles
Yeah.
behind my house, so, you know, if it's not on the map,
They
the state
frequent upland.
doesn't care.
Maybe they're snapper turtles, I don't
Yeah,
know.
they are snapping turtles that I've seen in nest. But there are also scooters and, red-bellied scooters in there and, box turtles.
Did you go through the, what is it, NH?
Yes, yeah, we checked that off, if it's in it, I don't have the full NOI, I got it in the folder, but we checked the current maps. And if there is something in there, then the procedure is, like you guys know, we submit the plans to them, they do a sweep, because we ran into that on Middle Street, on a house that was being built. And they came in and we have to section off the area, they come in, sweep it, and look for them. And then they tell you what you can do, what you can't do, but this was definitely not identified as an endangered area. We've run into it, we've run into dragonflies with Rehoboth, we've run into horseshoe crabs in other towns, and turtles also in Freetown, but
Okay, so we really can't deal with the turtle issue because it's not in the, it's not recorded. And as far as the building, they're still asking to remove that building, or I should say the foundation. I wouldn't have a clue whether historical site or not, unless we go for issuing of a notice of intent pending.
I doubt it. If it was, it would be noted somewhere.
Correct.
I would think so too.
The only reason I bring it up is because, if Odie Dyer noted it on a plan, chances are he had some reason to do it as an old building. And
I think
I don't think that's some reason though is good enough to hold these people up.
He was probably designating it just from a landmark perspective, not from a historical perspective.
You know,
Well,
I
he
mean,
usually puts historical perspective in high regard. That's why he puts the names of old owners in, as well as landmarks, monuments.
We have a lot of reasons to deny things, but not one because it's historic. That's really beyond our purview.
that's,
If it turns out that it is in the future, they will have to deal with it. You want to pursue that, that's your right.
Yes.
you know,
Right now, we're
our,
dealing with what's in front of us. I thought it would require compensatory storage. We continued the hearing. He's proved that it doesn't require it. It's a sub-ordered, it has a title function, so.
I think protection of that area too,
Yeah.
for the natural,
you know, we're
locust trees and
wetlands.
woods, it's a good
We're
thing.
Yeah.
wetlands, we issue it on wetland, issues
Very
and,
aware, and turtles as well.
well, yeah, well, that's part of the habitat. So, okay, is there any other comments from the audience? Okay, does someone have a motion?
I'll make a motion that we close the hearing and issue an order of conditions. We can take into consideration Board of Health request in the conditions, but other than that,
Okay, Jack, is there a second?
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, you got, finally, huh?
Finally, hey, good things take time.
But, you know.
Tony's a
just
patient man.
Trying to do it right.
That's it. Gotta have it right.
Okay. Okay, lot 3, notice of intent, Country Street Holdings LLC, out of Rehoboth to construct, house lots on Maple Swamp Road. So it's gonna, lot 3, lot 4, lot 7, lot 10.
And there's also a lot 8 now.
we're starting with that 3, 4.
We'll start with lot 3.
Okay,
Good evening, gentlemen.
you got that right.
Brandon Faniff and John Duval
These are the,
Latest revised plans.
for lot 3. Okay, so there has been a change to lot 3. Last time we were here, it was continued simply due to a lack of DEP number, which we do have now, which is 17-429. Okay. Mr. Mello brought to my attention the planning board ordinance that no lot shall have more clearing than 35,000 square feet without proper permitting.
43,000.
43,000, I thought you said 35.
No, it's, 34,000, I'm sorry.
30,
I
okay.
got it twisted.
That was 35, yeah, okay. Anyway, so what we had to do is we had to adjust the numbers to reduce our total level of disturbance. So we went down in number. So I had those right in front of me. Where are those?
Oh, that sheet you had with all the numbers on it?
Yeah, I had it up here. Anyway, our total disturbance number for lot 3, if I can find the paper I just had.
If you didn't have so many files.
Yeah, I know, it's in files.
Yeah, those are all the same.
Okay,
Oh, he just got buried by this. So lot 3 is now at 4,685 square feet of disturbance to the riverfront area, which is down from over 6,000. So we reduced it by over 2,000 square feet. So we meet that 34,000 total disturbance number. So when I adjusted, we made adjustments to, you can have this too, Charlie. It has all the revised
Good.
riverfront area numbers. And over here is the total clearing numbers, along with revised reports to reflect all the correct numbers. So when you're writing out the order of conditions, knock on wood, you can use these numbers when you're filling in the blanks.
Okay.
So we have less disturbance on this one than we did a month ago when we were here. Again, to meet that total
Yeah.
clearing, the planning board ordinance. That's it, so otherwise I think that we're complying very well. We're now at, we were like at 9.9% of the 10%, now we're at 4.3% of the 10% that we're allowed to use in the riverfront area, so we're less than half of what's allowed.
okay, now you have water here, town water.
Correct, yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now Oak Street has municipal water, but Maple Street does not.
Does not.
Right.
Is it Maple Street or Maple Swamp?
Acco-
It's Maple Street. On that stretch, we went through it, and So it's when you get around the
Those
sharp turns, it
turns
turns into
corner.
Maple Swamp.
Right.
So it's Maple Street from Oak Street to what, the baseball field?
Till you get to that first 90-degree turn, then it turns into Maple Swamp all the way to the Rehoboth line. I know, we had it on plans all screwy.
Yeah, tax assessor gave us a hard time when doing the butters list. No, it's not Maple Swamp, it's Maple Street here.
So the lot.
Oh, yeah, it actually
30
shows
years
it right
in
here.
now is on Maple Street.
Oh, yeah,
These
okay.
are
Maple
on,
and
actually
Maple
on
Swamp.
Maple
That's
Street,
why,
yes.
that's why it goes to New Street,
Yep.
and the town line is somewhere.
Yeah, right
Yeah.
there, yes.
Near that cement foundry
Cement-
or whatever,
yeah,
whatever it is, the
septic system.
casket. Well,
That-
wasn't the
that's-
casket thing?
That's where they put, that's where we put contractors who break the law.
Oh,
One
really?
of those.
Well, you hurt my
As you
feelings.
should. Good thing I'm not a contractor.
So this is a revised plan for lot 3.
Correct.
Yeah, I've got plans coming up at India in here.
You can use some to start the fire.
And we're not done yet?
Okay. Oh, there's no one out there. It's just-
We're all along.
Okay, are we going to have a motion on,
I'll make a motion, we close the hearing, issue an order of conditions, and on this revised plan,
For lot 3, correct?
lot 3.
Yeah. All right, I'll second that.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
Brandon, are you in on this to monitor John the whole time to make sure that he does it right?
Oh, he's monitored me for a lot of years.
That's up to you.
Well, what's gonna happen, obviously, is Mount Hope will have to come out, stake where we're gonna put the bottles, then we'll have to get it approved by, I think, Charlie, don't you come out in the field?
Or
and-
any of us?
Or any of you to make sure the wattles are properly staked and in the proper place,
Yeah.
and then,
Okay, no, I didn't know if you continued along after the fact.
I generally don't unless there's a condition to do so.
well, and also, if we're doing replication, and then you have
Oh,
to do
if there's
your report.
replication, yeah, if there's replication, I get
Crossing
hired to
wetlands.
oversee the construction of the replication area and then do the 2 seasons worth of monitoring and write my reports saying that it's in compliance with 310 CMR 10.554.
Okay, so now, will you have markers up there for their end limits of deforestation?
That would be more appropriate for the surveyor to mark that out,
Okay,
yeah. They can mark out the,
so make sure that's in there, that the limits of the,
Now's the time to discuss it, after we close the hearing.
well, no, well, it's gonna be with all of them. It's gonna be with all of them, so let's, we go on to the next one, then and then as I think of
I tried to figure out
something.
where the wells were in relation to other
okay,
septic
so
systems.
Yeah.
I thought that I had Mount Hope create that plan and I emailed it to you.
Okay.
It was later this afternoon, and I think that I left those on my desk. But you're gonna see that they just barely make it, but they
Well,
make
they
it.
barely make it now. I mean, you look at the arc and it's
Yeah.
only maybe 5 feet from, well, it's at the slope of the field. But I mean, they're going back and forth.
Yeah.
I said, Jesus, it's driving me crazy.
They're close, but they're
Well,
legal.
that's why all this has to be staked out and surveyed as it's happening.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
not
the
like you
Board of
have an
Health
extra
is
100
responsible
feet
for
and you
septic
can
and
vary.
all that horse shit.
Correct.
I just wanted to make sure the wells were where they're supposed to be.
You must have gotten this smart in 7th grade.
It was because I had the best teacher in the world. It must have been DR. I was good in math, though. Geometry, not so much.
Okay, let's get rid of this one here then. This is lot 3.
Right.
You want another one, Charlie?
Yeah, fold it up so I can stick it in the folder.
Okay. Okay, lot 3 is done.
Dealing with lot 4.
No. Lot 4 remains the same. is 8,600 square feet of disturbance, but there's a little over 86,000 square feet of total riverfront area, so we're at that 10% on this one. And we, with a cheat sheet I gave you, we're still under the 34,000 square feet total disturbance under the planning ordinance.
This is, Charlie? I gotta spin it, I think.
And we have a DP number when you're ready.
I've got them all.
I think Jim's writing them down.
Well, no, we got the 427.
Yep.
Okay. Why does he get the colored version mocked up?
Is it cheap, I guess?
Okay. Oak Street.
You notice you got hammerheads here on your driveways.
Yeah, because of the length, and 20 feet wide.
Now, okay. The drive itself is 20, or the other one said 12 plus 4?
I think it's the drive itself,
This is 20,
we
this
were
is 20.
told, because once it's over 150 feet, I've never seen it enforced, but Dayton, I don't know if it's the building
Fire
inspector, or
department, so, yeah.
fire, building, whatever, so that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then the hammerhead
Gotta
at the
turn
end.
around.
Correct.
They
Yeah,
only go
turn it.
forward, they don't go backwards in those things.
Yeah.
Well, they wanted to put a pumper there so they can
Yep,
bring pressure.
yeah, because you're not gonna turn a fire truck around.
Yeah, actually. What if I take that in? There's no revisions on this lot. This is the original plan, right? Yep. Okay.
Okay,
This one has
Charlie,
very
we're,
much- yeah, that's a
on all these lots, the
Your notes are
limit
on that.
of cutting will be surveyed out so that,
Well, we have a limit of work line on some of them.
Well, you
Yeah,
just
limited
say that it's to
clearing.
be staked out before, it may be staked out and inspected by the commission before,
well,
You
you
get
know,
that.
we've had people just go rampant.
No.
Firewood, extra.
the tree guys tend to get a little overzealous.
Hey, hey.
No, I'm in the field all the time, and once Mount Hope lays it out, I'll be out there with the guys setting the wattles and stuff, and then make the appropriate call to make sure it's up to par.
Okay, now, I'm just, trying to get my head here. Okay, this lot, is the other one, the other lot
Right,
here?
yep, exactly, and then it
Okay.
shoots off to the left.
Yeah, okay.
Yep, exactly.
All right.
Yeah, and with every one of these, I did this last time, but I had the overall.
But there are lots in front of these two reserve lots.
With existing, what, with
They're existing lots, yeah.
existing houses? to-
No, not houses, they're
They just
part
filed
of
for these, but there are two more lots, one in front of each one of
Each
the
one.
reserve lots.
Okay,
Alright, so. It's actually not this one that's highlighted, it's this one right here.
all right.
It's this one, this big one. So
Okay,
you got a driveway right here and a
Yeah.
driveway right here, and they're both, in this area.
That guy's gonna have a hell of a tax bill.
But I can't even use it. I want a tax abatement. This is
know.
a taking without,
You can use it to get tips, there's
Compensation.
plenty of them.
tonight, the other lots are gonna be your houses too?
Yes, some are mine and some are Prairie's. So these few are mine, a couple there, and then Prairie and his.
No, I'm talking about these one.
Yeah, those
two.
two are mine. Yep,
And there's no wetlands there,
correct.
okay.
Thank God. Much more lots like that, it's just not out there.
that's why you have more and more work every year.
Yeah, I
It
know.
never, it only increases, never decreases.
Well, yeah, because the land, the good land is
Used up
hard to
over the
find.
years. Yep.
My father told me that back in the early 90s when I was getting ready to graduate high school. He says, you get into this, it's only gonna get worse, Brandon, it'd be more work for you. He was right. He was right. I got into it and now I'm reaping the benefits.
I know, because if I look back on the last 10 years, how many checks I've written, it adds up. I'm just busting.
We all set?
Yeah.
Okay,
I'll make a
motion?
Motion that we close the hearing, issue an order of conditions.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Lot, 4 is taken care of. Lot 7,
Here's the revised ones.
and that's 426.
Some changes.
Lot 7 had some changes because of the
Shrink the
34,000
disturbance area
square
down.
foot requirement. So what we did is we reduced the total disturbance in the riverfront
Wait.
area.
Where's that map that you just had out there that's showing the whole?
I got another one.
Yeah, no, just, I just love seeing that because I could.
The overall?
Yeah, it's a better visual on the whole
Right.
thing.
Well, yeah, that's the good thing. having the whole-
I got it.
Four. You want that first? That's not four?
Let me,
Um,
yeah, let's keep this one up.
Okay, wait, so lot
7. Now we're on,
4, 4,
Now we're on lot 7.
oh, 7.
About 7, yeah.
that's not it.
Wait a minute.
That's not it.
What?
That's not it.
Oh, is that an old one?
Yeah.
Oh.
So this is, should be Maple Street here? Maple Street, oh, here's Maple Street here, I think.
Yeah, this is Maple Street, so it's got a bigger frontage and we have wells on that.
Okay,
Another,
Maple Street goes this way, so you must have lots over here.
If that's oak, most of this is wet over here.
Okay. And so, okay, so this comes out to Maple Street over here?
This is over near the gravel parking lot of the ball field.
Yeah, it's the lot closest to the ball field.
To the left of the ball field, the actual pavement is right over here.
Okay. Okay, so this is a big lot.
Right, but again, this is,
This lot is right next to it.
correct,
Doesn't Prairie have one?
correct.
Yeah.
I think I have 7 and 10, he
You don't
has,
have it on the outside?
It's an older subdivision, and obviously I have an old version. It's mostly correct, but this one doesn't show lot 7 as it shows on yours, so I don't know what to tell you.
Okay, but there are other lots over here though.
correct.
Yep.
Yep.
And now the Maple Street comes out,
Right here.
so does this come out to Maple Street on the other end?
It hits over the oak over here, but
Let
again,
me see
that's,
that other map then, oh.
it shows the
Coming in this
wetland.
I'll
way,
just,
Jim.
it's not, this one's a
No,
little
no,
older.
I understand it, but I wanna see where it might pop out.
All right, so this is different though, this was an original proposal that didn't happen because of wetlands and stuff, so.
But
Okay.
this lot
So
7 here,
this could be something like this.
Correct, there's 2 driveways running in, lot 7 is here, which is Prairies, and then lot 9 is here, and then they come over and, you know, a vast majority,
Wait, 7 is Prairie or 7 is yours?
About 9 is Prairie.
I don't even know.
These numbers don't line up with what they're showing us here. That's an old subdivision.
That's an old,
yeah.
No, that's okay, but I get the idea, it does come out to Maple Street
Correct.
over here.
Yeah, but
And
it
so this
doesn't-
is all wet
Doesn't
here?
come out with an entrance or an exit. It's only over here, Jim.
Right, no, I know, but it's just, the lot still does do that.
Right.
Correct.
To get your family lot, what do you call it?
retreat,
Retreat lot. In order to get, you need a certain amount of acreage for a retreat lot.
right, you
So
can, you
this
can
here-
have substandard frontage as long as you have enough acreage.
Acreage, okay, so by doing this here into the wetlands, you get the acreage.
correct,
Right.
yep.
Okay. All right. So, okay, all right.
I think
My-
there's some
Okay, so
some
whether,
limitations
so
on
whether
configuration.
it's,
Yeah.
We're over here on Maple Street.
yeah,
There's your driveway coming up.
no,
here.
no, I see that.
Yeah.
I see that. So there's probably another drive, there's
Exactly.
probably another lot
Yep.
over here.
Yes.
Which is lot 9, I believe.
Okay, all right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that's the subdivision that was proposed back when the
No,
NRAD was
no,
going
no,
through.
but I can visualize it, I can see it.
Yeah.
There
I'm all
are 2
set.
side-by-side reserve lots abutting the ball field. Then there are street lots,
Brandon's from Woonsocket, it's side by each.
side by each,
So
Okay.
on my
So
family.
we're dealing with this one right here.
but they're parallel to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so this is the one right here that we're dealing with.
yes, that's where the frontage comes in on
Yeah,
the
okay.
driveway, yep.
All right, I'm set to go. Is there, what's changed on that?
The total amount of disturbance has gone down in order to meet the planning board's 35,000 square foot
This board of selectmen.
Board of Selectmen. Okay, so you get the cheat sheet over there, but our total disturbance is now 6,445 square feet within the riverfront area. So that's down by about a little over, maybe about 8,000 square feet, 800 square feet less rather. So we're at 8.9% instead of like 9.9%.
Okay, I have a question. Where's the river here?
It runs right through the middle of the swamp.
There's a mirror. You can high water mark right over there.
Okay, all right, okay,
Yeah, and it shows the 200-foot mark.
okay, okay.
And I have revised reports to reflect all the up-to-date accurate numbers.
This is seven.
Lot 7, yeah. Just as long as you have that cheat sheet I gave you, you'll be all set.
Yeah, I've got it. I don't know which one it's in, but it's here. I think it's in 4.
Yeah, that's where we started for.
Any, we set to go, or we
Yep.
have questions? I'm waiting for a motion.
Oh, okay, well, you didn't ask for a motion.
I am
You're
now.
asking for one, I'll make one. I move that we close the hearing and issue an order of conditions for lot 7,
With all your,
Maple Street.
Yes.
You're gonna do all the staking of the limited disturbance and inspection?
He'll write that into the order of conditions.
Well, you should include it as part of the motion.
Oh, now you're gonna get on the
But
commission.
you can't make conditions
Well, we
that are
talked about
specialized.
it. You know,
that.
we had already said for all of them, we're
Yeah.
gonna have this.
I think it's more appropriate to make the motion.
I'll make a motion. How many square feet?
Well, no, just, you wanted the limited disturbance staked out, right?
Yes.
And an inspection before clearing is
Yes.
allowed. So that's what I
Oh, That's what
recommend.
you want for everyone?
I think it's the fair thing.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we close the hearing, that this lot be staked out, and I be notified prior to construction, make a site visit.
Second, is that a second? Okay, all in favor?
I don't know, that's pretty standard, what I'm used to when you set your sediment control, is before you can proceed, you have to get authorization to
Well-
proceed.
That would be part of it. You
Right.
can write that in.
Right.
And that's part of our, what do you call it, boilerplate,
Your standard conditions.
yeah.
Well, if it's part of your standard conditions, then you don't really have to do it, but anytime you go like outside of the norm, you should make a specific motion. I didn't know that, so I apologize.
Okay.
Throw me down the stairs in my shoes.
Okay, lot 10.
Lot. All right, this one did have some changes.
We'll have to move the structure back some.
Yeah, so on this one, shift the house to the south to be at least 50 feet away from the vernal pool. So the 50-foot no build from the 100-foot vernal pool
This
buffer.
is the one that had the 50-foot no build.
Correct, yes, with the
Right.
vernal pool
So
across
now,
the
so
street.
now it is literally 6 inches away from the 50-foot no build. The garage, if you put in 3 coats of paint, you're gonna be in violation.
Oh, we're gonna want it staked, we're gonna want a stone wall built by Tony.
Yeah.
I like Pennsylvania thin, it's very inexpensive.
Well, we got it out. It's definitely shoehorned, but it meets it. They had to make some tight grades in the back in order to do it. Shift it to the side, but
So
they
this is
they
all
made it.
models.
Can I spin this?
Yeah,
There's, who else has one? let me see here. This is Maple Street.
Correct.
okay?
Yep,
Lot
10.
10, okay, let me see, let me just go. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, that would be good. So, lot 10 retains its same identity?
No, that configuration changed a little, however
Okay.
long ago that was.
Oh, that's, okay.
But the big thing was the vernal pool across the street, and the last plan we had, this house was into this, no
Okay.
structures in the zone.
Okay.
Where from here to here, we can do some grading, but we got it out of that 50-foot,
Okay,
no structures, or however it's worded.
So just a revision of plan 3.
so whereabouts is the house here then? It's gonna be,
It's out pretty, well, yeah, if you did the scale on here, I'm not sure if this is a 40 scale. You know, it's pushed quite a ways back because of the vernal pool, no touch zones and stuff.
20 scale.
20 scale.
20
Okay.
scale with a most recent revision of November
yeah, no,
21.
no, okay, yeah.
And this plan's from 2018.
Yeah.
As you see, we had to cut back and lose
Yeah.
lots once we had all our wetlands defined and everything.
Okay.
It's just the one by the corner, Oak Street and Maple, with the vernal pool.
It's actually almost in the middle of the project.
Yeah, if you were on the
So-
corner of Oak and Maple, you'd be outside of
Oh.
that vernal pool zone.
Okay, so
Well, I
that's this,
mean,
that's
yeah,
this lot,
because
no, it can't be.
The vernal pool down.
It's actually,
Up the road a bit.
This is lot 10, you said.
Very
Correct.
second lot.
Okay,
so
but
what
lot-
happened is some of
Yeah,
these
it's
lots
about halfway
disappeared,
to
so
the-
these are the
ball
actual
field.
zones. So this is probably right in the zone of lot 10 as it is right now,
So
because
there's
you
a
can
100-foot
see,
vernal pool, so that's
exactly,
probably-
Yeah, okay.
exactly.
That's right there.
Okay, all right. So these numbers have all shifted?
Right, because there's actually only 10 lots on this whole section of Oak and Maple, not 12.
Do you have another map like this that is accurate?
Not with me.
I've got one in here somewhere.
Oh,
So I don't know which stand for.
That, I asked Mount Hope for an overall, and that's what they gave me.
I have a large scale one, I should have brought it.
okay, so this is the new lot 10 maybe then?
Correct, so basically, just roughly, that's that zone, it's something like that.
Okay,
And then these are the one we just went
Yeah.
over, and then one more
okay,
there.
all right, okay, all right. Okay, that makes sense.
No, it's funny though, all the different zones, there's not a stitch of wetlands or anything, it's a gorgeous lot, but because of the vernal pool and other stuff, this is, you know, what we contend with.
From across the street.
Correct.
I have a plan that shows all the lots.
It
as
looks
they're
like you have a
supposed to be.
lot of plans in there.
Okay.
That's it. It stays right
And so your driveway is coming in here, okay, all right. So the driveway is gonna come in from here?
Yep.
Okay,
Side
all right.
entry garage.
Okay, so that would actually be more like this, up to here,
Correct.
okay. So it's gonna come in through here and over here, okay, all right.
It's too many.
Well, you know, if these people, if they don't have special markers up by their driveway, they're gonna get lost finding their homes.
Yeah, you're gonna drive right by.
They won't be able to hunt in their backyards because they'll be killing each other.
Yeah.
Well, that wouldn't be a bad thing either, John.
I don't know, there's some vast swamp out in the middle over there, there'd still be a lot of deer hanging out
Maybe
waiting
a
to be
Polish
shot.
Firing squad.
We never shot you or your wife, so, you know, there is hope there. Huh?
What's that?
I said, we never shot you or your wife, there is hope.
Nice, real nice.
Nah, his wife got upset a few times when we were hunting right there.
Oh,
behind his
Chief,
house.
what did she think when you came home the other day with that bag?
Well, she knew I was gonna get it.
Oh, okay,
Don't forget, I put it off from one day to the next.
that's right, that's right. We have a motion,
Okay, I mean, we've been talking.
okay.
I make a motion, we close the hearing, that we have the lot staked and be notified before any construction's done. So make a site visit on lot 10, Maple Street.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I have a quick question for you gentlemen. I have a lot staked, all my sediment control wattles in place. Who do I actually call? Is it you, Charlie? Okay,
Or email me, it's easier.
okay. I'll get your email from Brandon. How do you like his phone? Nice color.
Never lose it in the woods.
And when you call me, if you call me on my phone, then I can hear you, because it's all plugged
You
into.
told me to call you on your home phone.
Oh, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Do you have that in
The
writing?
phone you always call me on. Call me on my cell phone.
Fine.
Then I have ears. The other way, I have to push a ram it right in my ear.
Very true.
Boy, we're moving down now.
I'll probably do some clearing and stuff, and it was like last year, I did a couple in Rehoboth, and we got a window in February that the weather allowed, you know, it's not so much the snow, it's the deep freeze. So, you know, you gotta
Hey,
go through
Jim,
the whole permit
We
process
can
and
use this
everything.
for, I knew it was somewhere.
So, lot 10.
Wait a minute, this is,
All right, so this is the different, the proper lot configuration, so this was the lot 10 we were just dealing with.
okay,
So see how lot 7 that we were
That's what
just
we
talking
just did,
about
right?
comes all the way over here,
yeah,
has a bunch of frontage, but this is all wet.
okay. So this is not.
So, yeah, that one's garbage, that was an
10.
old farm.
This is 6.
And then it all sort of depends on sales and market.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
that
for
kind of
sure.
stuff.
I just bet you don't have any trouble with that.
No, it's just this, now people wanna know it's going to winter, when can
What's
it's not,
on lot
when's it gonna be
9?
done?
Yeah, yeah.
No.
June, when kids get out of school.
I know,
the,
deal with it all the time.
Mount Hope had, she thought she had to send in new plans to you. This one has a final revision date of 12/3/19. What are those? This one has a final revision date of
I got this 11/7.
Yeah, there's still a lot of land over there. I've been having a bunch of.
Yeah, this one's
in my
really old.
backyard. There's so many acorns.
These are the
down
ones you
there,
want.
So many bucks in them. I don't have them.
These are the ones you want.
They're not hunting, so just got two, they're not one of
So,
the, one
no,
of
my
those.
That's yours, but
Jim's son
these are
is
the new
big
ones.
into hunting,
Okay.
And he'll give me a bunch of venison, but I'm not.
These are the ones you
I
want for
raise
lot 9.
cows and pigs, I'm fine with that, but yeah, I've never been to a hunter. Oh, yeah.
So on this one, it was just, you wanted to show the 50-foot line and well
In 1
location.
minute.
Yep.
No. Is that bow, a shotgun?
You marked them?
Did you eat them?
They're in the freezer, they will be.
I made venison burgers last night on the grill. With onions, cheese, some spices in there.
We've got enough here, Charlie. Don't have to take them apart. We can,
Yeah, he's not.
all right, yeah, you and I can look at this one and make them look at that one.
Okay, wait a minute, this one here is,
Make them all apart.
wait a minute,
Lot
Nine,
that's 9.
Yeah.
lot 9.
Yeah. Yeah, let's lose this one. This is the junk one. That's the proper one.
The proper one?
Okay, 9 is here, okay.
All right. So you show well location, which is on the south west side of the house.
Yep.
And the 50-foot no structure, which is just off of the northwest corner of the garage in an arc. See that? Yep, right there.
Okay, his septic,
And here's the 50-foot no build right there.
Okay.
So,
Now you got proposed garage slab.
Does it say the elevation on it? It's a lot of times it'll say.
No, you just, are you gonna build a garage, or is that just gonna be a,
Well, we always show a garage, sometimes depending on people's budget, but we like to show the maximum we're gonna do
okay,
in
all
the
right.
event we do it.
Okay, I get you.
A lot of times when I meet with customers, they have their wish list, you give them breakdowns on everything, and then it's like, we want the farmer's porch, but we're not gonna do the garage because it's X amount more, and you give the people their options.
Okay, so on this one here, you're just gonna have a small area of yard by the house, is that what it is?
Right, to stay within the setback requirements of
Okay,
your.
as opposed to cutting it here and then going out more?
I don't know where the zones are, that's the
Oh, okay.
100-foot wetland, I don't know if it's the river zone that's, you know, keeping us within
Okay,
it's the,
the 200, I mean, the outer riparian zone? Yeah.
yeah, it's
right
the
there.
outer riparian zone, yeah. So the double hatch, which is in this
Yeah.
area right here,
yeah,
that's in the riverfront area. So we're trying to keep it under that 10%.
okay. No, I'm just looking at a narrow, this narrow band right here, or,
Right, we have it at 9.9% of the 10% we're allowed,
okay.
so it had to, kinda had to be like that.
So, no, if you, I'm just looking for aesthetics for the house, if you went this way, then shorten this, no? I'm just looking,
Yeah, no, I understand what you're saying.
No, I understand.
If they need to come back, they need to come back.
that's right, that's another check.
Modification.
Formal amendment, nope,
Isn't
too
it-
much new NOI.
Isn't it major or minor
Major is a,
when you have to redo the whole
when you,
thing?
when you have to, well, you can do minor field change, you can do an amendment, or if they think it's serious enough, make you file a brand new NOI.
Well, that's up to the commission to determine.
That's right.
Okay, 200, I see that.
Once the people move in, they do whatever they want to, so.
Well, that's why you're supposed to, me as a builder, you set your boundary limits, come out, this is the scope of work.
Yeah.
Right, you know, you stake it out and then have Charlie come and verify it, and then there's no question if they go beyond it, then there's no question that they're in the wrong.
Cement mark, just a thought, remember we had a lot of people put cement markers in to show the limits of any work that they could do in the future. Well, for the people in the
riverfront
future,
area goes right through the house. Gonna put one right in the living room.
that would be good.
Get a few extra bags of Quikrete.
I don't have any questions.
I mean, they show the 50-foot, show a well. The well doesn't go through the septic, pretty close, but only close is only good in horseshoes.
That hand grenade.
That's all, that's right. That's all reflected on, we stake them out and then you do your as-bills also.
Well, it's helpful if it's staked too. You can tell where the hell a house is and where all the other
Correct.
things are. These lots are a little bit more open, right on Maple Street.
Little more open?
A little more open.
Right, a lot of that land is because it was logged for so many years back by Raymond Marble. Because Raymond Shaw, the gentleman we bought the land from, had a bunch of land in Rehoboth. We've bought some of that, and you're finding all the big stumps. Where the tree guy doesn't like it as much because he's not getting a lot of lumber out. They're in there, whatever that machine is, they shred the smaller growth with and stuff. Just a lot of ticks out there. I've had many of them on me.
And there's another one coming on Rocky Mountain on the islands.
I think that's just what they call Lyme disease out west.
We should know,
This was a
shouldn't we?
different tick that they were showing. It was a good-sized tick, and it was beige in color, and it does something to do with the meat that we
Yeah, it
eat
makes you, Lone Star, the Lone Star
Lone
tick.
Star.
Yeah, it makes you permanently allergic to red meat the rest of your life.
Okay, Lone Star.
It's a
I had
fate
the
worse
wrong-
than
I had
death.
the wrong
As long
state.
as it's not red wine. No, we know
And you
ticks.
get that from the bite or from eating the meat of the,
I think it's an enzyme in the bite.
It's an enzyme in the bite that gets into you, and then it's there forever, I guess. No more red meat,
That would suck.
no more trips to the Capitol Grill.
I haven't been there in probably a decade.
I'm going there Saturday night for my company party. You're not invited.
I'm putting a stop payment on that check tomorrow. You won't be having a party.
So what are you looking for? A couple of markers at the limit of work line?
yeah.
Well, I'm looking for a motion. I'll make a motion to close the hearing.
Yeah.
And that some of the conditions include marking locations for cutting, building, and
Limit.
some permanent markers along different quadrants of the limit of work line.
Yeah, if you just show us where you would like them, obviously, I'd say that would be an obvious point because of the close proximity. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, because you know what's gonna happen, they're just gonna dig,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Encroach.
What we usually do is do it at the beginning, the end, and then whenever there's a turn,
yeah.
so then you can just follow it through the woods. Because if you, let's say you put one, here, and then you put one here, they're
Yeah.
gonna think that it goes straight
Yeah,
across.
at the corners.
You put it at the corners.
Yeah, no.
Right.
Got that, Charlie, at the corners?
I'm
Okay.
gonna do that.
Okay, motion made, is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that's lot 9, and that was a sneak-in, right?
Sneak in.
Wait a minute,
Oh,
lot 9 is not on here, is it?
Lot nine
That's
is,
it. Number
is,
7, item number 7 on the agenda.
Oh, yeah, oh, there it is, okay.
Oh, this was lot 9, maybe we jumped over lot 8.
No, I,
No, you're still not-
No, lot
yeah,
eight's
he got
next.
Oh, okay, 'cause
lot,
that was a new
then
one.
the 9 is over here.
Okay,
That's,
Yeah, I got carried away. There's so many. I usually
Okay,
don't
lot-
have to print
just
that.
making sure
lot
we're
8,
all on
now
the
now we're on
same page.
lot 8.
which is a new one.
Lot 8 is new, okay. Wait, a minute, lot 8 is new, okay, lot 8 is,
And there's no-
okay, so that's gonna be a long driveway again.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a long driveway
They
coming
emailed
in
you.
here, right?
oh, yes.
Excellent.
But, yeah, but the house is over here, so it's not quite as long as those other guys.
Yeah, but still quite long enough for the 220 foot
Oh,
drive.
look at this. I have a correct one.
Shocker. And he even has,
I have a
I
correct
gotta
one
give
now.
this to Charlie then.
Yeah. Lot eight's,
just what he
outlined.
wants, some more plans.
Okay.
So do you have, you have the, okay, you got them all. So this one's stamped. And this one has a final revision date of 11/26.
There's 2 lots here.
This is one that is being filed under the bylaw only, because we're completely outside of the buffer zone, we're completely outside the riverfront area. The limitation we have has to do with the vernal pool across the street. and the 100-foot vernal pool no-touch zone, and then you have the vernal pool buffer zone, and then the 25, well, you get the buffer zone, of which part of it is a 25-foot no-touch and 50-foot no-build. Both of those areas are within the driveway, and my argument is that it's our only means of ingress or egress. Otherwise, we'd have to go through the wetland, which I think would be less desirable.
No, that sounds
So
appropriate.
that's why the filing, because of this beginning of the
Because,
driveway.
right, if you went by the state law alone, there would be no filing for this lot. So,
But you still got, you did file though, and you still got a number.
yeah, we did.
Yeah.
That way, we got all other bases covered,
Okay.
without question.
No, and you got you have to have your long driveway 20-foot wide here too, I
don't know if
guess.
that one meets it or not.
I'm just throwing that
Doesn't
out,
say.
I don't know.
40 scale, it looks like 40 feet, 42.77 for the total width.
No, that's the total width
But I
of
was
front
just trying to
frontage,
gather the length.
Yeah, that's probably
but it is pretty,
pretty wide.
well, filter mitt to filter mitt, it's gotta be like 30 feet.
Yeah.
And then it looks like the.
Oh, yeah.
So
Because that's
it
40,
only
yeah.
deals with the vernal pool across the street, Charlie. They're out of the 100-foot buffer.
Yeah, we,
Actually, the buffer to the vernal pool. The rest of it is.
Yeah. Okay, so really, once, you know,
Not
just
even a
like,
riverfront problem on this one.
No.
Well, for once, John has got an easy one.
There's not much of that these days.
famous last words is what I say.
I will say, most of the perk test, the perk rates were pretty good on most of these lots, so pretty consistent. I was pretty impressed. Water tables on these were a little higher, some of the ones on Oak.
They're gonna be, some will be raised,
Some of the what?
some of them, like the water table high enough, low enough so you don't have to raise the.
Correct, especially the ones on Oak Street. Some of these, they're not, the water's not high enough to make you have walkout basements, but you could do like a daylight basement. So not tons of fill compared to some I've
They're
done.
not gonna have an island on the front lawn.
No. A pimple, as some people.
motion?
This is an easy one, yeah. I'll make a motion that we close the hearing. I don't know if there's gonna be a lot of room for it here, but at least stake the house and driveway locations. So
Well, that's actually the driveway is the only thing, because the other portion of the house is out of the zone. Okay, second? All in favor?
Boy, this is the most productive night we've ever had.
Ah, I like it.
7 we went through today, and 8. And now we're going to look at land, right?
You guys aren't done yet?
No.
3 more items, 4 more items, adjournment's the 4th.
That's the good one.
We're done with these guys, right?
So Charlie has, one other question, because obviously, you know, I don't work in Dayton all the time, and I know you have, is it the 21-day appeal period?
10-day.
Is it 10-day?
Well, there's a 21-day period that we can consider issuing the orders, but we close it, we're gonna issue orders, we have 21 days to do it.
Okay.
And then once you get, well, actually, it's I
They
believe,
have
it's-
to be recorded,
Correct.
right.
then it's just go on with the project.
So,
Well,
like,
after it's issued, there's a 10-day appeal period.
10-day period that DEP requires.
Right.
correct.
Appeals.
But I guess what I'm getting at, and it's only pertaining to one lot, is I can still go out and like put siltation and stuff in, like the wattles and stuff during that period, can I?
Well, technically you shouldn't, but wattles are different than building.
Right, that's only why I'm asking while I've got you here, so,
That's easy stuff.
okay. And I'll, get your email address from Brandon, so as I progress,
Well,
I
I mean,
can.
the Wetland Act requires 10-day appeal period after the issue of the orders.
Okay, yeah. All right, gentlemen, well,
He's
thank you.
not gonna appeal anything.
No, I don't think any of the neighbors are gonna appeal, there's no
Yeah.
neighbors.
Oh, we've
They're
beat
all-
this to death over the last year or so. I've had plenty of discussions with
They
them at
own
other
the whole
meetings.
damn area.
Yeah. That's right, we've had nobody here or contesting it.
When we did the Anrads and the river stuff, a few people came to the meetings when they were next door, and I spoke with them, which I try to be neighbor friendly and give them the rundown, and, you know, they're not here, so they must not be up in arms about it at this juncture. Gentlemen, thank you.
Well, if they are opposed to it, they don't follow
That's the
through
place they should've come.
for whatever it is. I mean,
I know we've
we've
spent a
been
good,
doing this for over 40 years and.
well, how about combined, how many years?
I'm
Besides,
probably
the
the only guy that can test stuff, so. That's why I'm here.
Associate
Okay,
member.
just checking.
But,
what's he been an associate member for 25 years?
No, no,
I'm,
20 years,
I'm only
Just a
kidding.
year, no.
But,
He hasn't attended a few hearings.
Yeah, I've been
He's
attending
starting to
these
get
things
tired.
for
but just
at least for
Charlie,
decades.
Charlie,
on a pretty
Bill and
regular
I
basis.
are about 125 years altogether.
Bill's been on the longest, second longest, third longest. His mom was on the commission before him.
Well, you know what? You guys make so much money doing this, just like when I was on the Board of Health years
I get
ago.
on here because I built a house right next to the Syrian Institute.
Yep.
How dare
And
you.
Trout Unlimited bitched about it. It had an old, well, a raceway coming down, there were mills in the backyard.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to go through this whole process. I said, bullshit, if I have to go through it, because I was aggravated. We had a conservation commission that wasn't very friendly back then.
Yeah.
The chair lady was a tough cook, and the secretary was almost as bad. His mom was terrific. If it wasn't for his mom, I probably wouldn't be living there. She sold me the land, and I had to go through the process, and just wanted to get in the chicken coop with all the other chickens.
He had trouble getting, clearing the right of way.
Really?
Started right there, getting in off the road, huh?
Yeah, that doesn't make it enjoyable.
No, no.
Gentlemen, thank you,
Okay.
appreciate it. You guys have a good Christmas.
Yeah,
you too.
Thank you.
You got a hell of a Christmas present.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah, probably more bills from him. I don't call that a good Christmas present.
He's worth every
I
penny.
gotta pay for my Christmas party.
Nice. I'm not inviting you to mine.
He's
I'm
worth
not
every
having
penny you're paying him. You're probably not paying him enough.
I agree.
Oh, don't stop with that.
He's invited to the party.
What are you making him pay for his own meal? Night, gentlemen.
That's
Thank you.
that money could hire right there.
I agree. Don't let him head get too big, though.
Have
Okay,
fun, we'll travel.
next on the,
Betty, you got it, your Betsy Dyer donated 2 more pieces of land. I said it was from her brother, but it was from her father.
her
He's
father,
still
yes.
alive, too. Oh,
Yes, 90 some.
Yeah, one is the father, and I guess it's owned by, the family, and then the other one.
Okay, these are 2 parcels of land,
One is on,
Horton Street, and the other,
damned if I can find the other one on the map.
I found it with Mallory, we found it,
Where is it?
off of Wellington, landlocked, I believe.
Wellington Street?
I believe it's landlocked, but there is deeded access to it somewhere.
Is that behind Samples property, the,
I don't
Sample
remember,
Meadows?
I don't remember now.
I looked
But
like.
Mallory has the map with it.
Right.
Okay,
I went all
It's
over
over near
that,
my house,
Gino.
'cause I'm
I
on map
looked
10, so.
Town map.
okay, do we need a motion to accept this property
Yes, we
that
do.
is being offered to us? And then we forward it to the selectmen so they can accept it. And, but it should be a separate letter to the selectmen saying that we have approved the,
Same format that we use for the other
okay.
stuff that we've.
okay. So those are the 2
Yeah,
parcels.
but she's already notified the selectmen. She sent copies of the request
Yes.
to the select board and to,
Here it is, here it is right here. You need that?
no, I've got it on. the-
You got that, okay.
That's a copy of her email.
Okay, yes. Okay, is there a motion to accept those parcel, the 14 acres of land on Horton Street, map 10, lot 23, and the 4.5 acres of land off of Wellington Street, map 10, lot 45, for the purpose of conservation and its varied uses.
I'll second that.
No, no, you're gonna make the motion. Okay, you made the motion then.
I'll make a motion, we accept it, but I've forgotten everything you mentioned.
Okay, well, I said, is there a motion, so you made the motion
Yes,
to
I made
do
it.
Yeah,
that.
I'll second it.
Okay. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, there was another parcel that was being offered to us, and Mallory was holding it up because she didn't want it.
She's not holding it up. The property owner is not willing to give it up now.
Because it
She
was,
received a request to purchase the property.
initially, it was gonna be donated to us, and then she thought it took too much time, this is my understanding, for us to convey an answer back. And so she entered into negotiations with the neighbor.
I think that her decision not to do it was not because of any weight. She just had an offer, and she changed her mind.
Okay, I don't know what it is,
Yeah.
but I know her lawyer was excited that we were going to take it, and then he got back to her and then said, wait a minute, things have changed.
Yeah, they had approached some land organization,
Yeah,
and they decided they didn't want that kind of a parcel, and suggested that she give it to us. Give it
and
over.
Mallory didn't want it at first, and she says, well, why do you want it? So I told her. And she says, oh, I like that reason, I'm gonna call up the lawyer and tell him we want it.
Well, the assessor doesn't like it when we take land either, because
I
it
know,
doesn't get
Texas.
taxed.
But,
That's that piece down here in Broad Cove that connects
no,
Somerset, no.
This is on Chestnut.
Chestnut
Oh,
Street.
Chestnut
There was an
Street.
existing house,
Okay.
I guess they raised it, so they wouldn't have to pay taxes. But it was a nice little piece of property. And it's still a nice piece of property.
Yeah, well, it's not gonna go to waste, I
No,
mean,
it's
because, you know, my
not big enough
goal,
for subdivision, but it's a nice property.
my goal is hoping, it's based upon how many chestnuts I get out of these trees this year, is to put, saplings up on Chestnut Street, town property.
You've got town forest, you can stick them in there.
That's where I wanna do it, because I found some behind my house that we planted from Bristol Aggie that are three, almost 4 feet high. Not many, most of them bit the dust because of, they,
Doesn't the Aggie School have more?
yeah, but they can't release them unless the Chestnut Foundation releases them. So everything is based upon a permit. Now, when I got these trees out here, I had to sign all kinds of documents, saying, about the trees and who they belong to and all that.
Oh, you might be able to get it back from them for the town forest.
Maybe, because we got 2 or 3 acres that is sort of clear, which is the best growing.
I think most of the pine trees, the evergreens in there are dying anyway.
That they did, they cut down.
They cut out.
Now, I have one nut from over here, one nut. There was, what do you call the burr that they grow in?
Just that up here.
Just a burr? Okay, it looked like there were 3, but some animal got in there and got 2 of them, and I got 1. But I've been to a shoe store, and I got, those little socks that women put on when they try on shoes? I got a bunch of those to hang around the burrs to hold the nuts in for next year. I just tell people what I want it for, and they say, oh, great idea.
Stockings, nylons, if she wears them, they do that.
Right, but but this here was opportunity, and I just asked them, sure, take what you want. So next year, I've got a bunch of those little,
That's the only one that's given fruit so far. Boy, that's young.
is that right?
Yeah, hell, that thing is only, what, 5 feet tall?
Well, hopefully next year, I'm gonna have them on 2 or 3 trees, I'm
Oh,
hoping.
big?
So
The
if
bigger
I
they
can,
get, the more
if
they
I can
get.
if they start producing, I'm going to start getting them throughout the town. You know, I'll have to talk with Jim about it. I've already talked to Kenny about
You're gonna
going,
be Johnny Chestnut seed instead of Johnny Apple seed.
how about Jimmy Chestnut?
What you,
Okay, what else was on here, on the agenda?
you gotta sign payroll.
The County Street,
Oh, County Street Broad Cove, Bill doesn't,
Bill apparently didn't come, so I
okay.
don't know why. I gotta find it now, cause it's goddamn many things stacked here.
Oh, for me to sign?
Let's see.
Okay, is there a motion made to, let's see, sign the payroll voucher for Charlie, as secretary?
Yeah, make a motion, we sign.
Okay, I'm gonna second it because I don't think, you should be able to. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, and being the tiebreaker, I voted.
Man, I had everything organized.
Had it all there, but it
Had,
went away,
is
huh?
it? Yeah, I don't know if I did it. Behave.
Well, you've got your work cut out, Charlie, to do, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
it was.
I think it'll easy once you get started.
Okay, you should get that, and I'll sign it for you, Charlie.
That's what he's looking for, Jim.
I know, and you didn't put it in somebody else's paperwork here. No, not here. I found Bob Berrowby to be very organized tonight, and
Well, he was pretty organized when he talked to me out there too. I mean, I couldn't argue with him because.
very efficient in showing us the, his reasoning
Yeah,
for, and he did a good job on it.
well, he showed me that on the, right out in the street, and he had me right there by the chestnuts.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
I couldn't argue with him because he was right.
yeah.
And actually, when I made the request that he, lucky if it might be in here. I suspect that it was titled because it floods, and it's a coastal flood, so, but they would determine. He showed me what he would have to do next door. I really didn't care what he had to do next door, but he was right and I was wrong. So, I can't find it, Jim. And I'm not looking through all those envelopes. When I find it, you can sign it. How's
Okay,
that?
that's fine.
We voted to.
We
sign
voted
it?
to sign it,
right.
so I can do it at a, you can give me a phone call and,
Looking for a motion to
adjourn.
adjourn? Yeah. I'll make a motion to adjourn at 9:10.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting